What's going on, everybody? I lost my voice a little, that's why I'm a little raspy. And if you guys haven't noticed, I haven't posted a video in 11 or 12 days. I took a 12-day detox from my phone. I turned it off on May 5th, and I haven't turned it on until today. I wanted to take a break from the phone. I was looking at my phone. Obviously, I post a lot of videos and do stuff. And my phone, I have the iPhone X. It keeps my screen time, and I was finding out that I was on the phone 10 to 12 hours a day. That's very frightening. That's half the day, and that doesn't count computer usage. So more than half of my life I'm spending on a cell phone, a little rectangle that lights up, and of course it's very good. I'm able to travel like Uber and Lyft. I'm able to communicate with everybody. And first off, I want to say I'm very, very grateful and appreciative. I always have been. And just thinking on stuff without using my phone and having a 12-day break, it's really incredible that I'm able to make a living and do what I love and say what I want to say and say what I think is right, and have so many people around the world and the country supporting me. So just wanted to start off and say thank you so much. I'm very, very grateful and forever appreciative. Thank you so much, everybody that stops me in person and says, I share it with a few of my friends. I know it doesn't matter. It does matter, and that's always been my thought process, has not been thinking too big, but every person counts on a genuine level, not a strategic level or anything. Just, every little moment, every little person, every share, every thought really does matter. And prayers. I know a lot of people nowadays say, oh, I don't want thoughts and prayers. Well, I'll take them. So thank you guys so much for that. And like I was saying, 12 hours a day in front of the computer. And my excuse could be, of course, I work on the computer. That's my job. I'm on the cell phone, so it's okay that I'm on the cell phone for 12 hours a day. But most of it is not work, just to be quite honest. I notice when I take a break in real life, when I'm using my phone and I go on a hike or I do something for hours, I actually do enjoy Twitter and Instagram and Facebook for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then the next hour or 2 hours, I'm almost stuck on it. The phone has become almost like a prison in a sense, where I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. I've already enjoyed it for 10, 15 minutes, and it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, and I'm just scrolling, and I'm getting upset. I'm getting, I won't say really angry, but bothered and stressed out. I did a poll on Twitter a couple months ago. I said, how do you feel when you're on Twitter? 2 of them were positive emotions, 2 of them were negative. About 85% of people said that they feel negatively when they're on social media. And that's not good, but we all do it for hours. So I'm very, very grateful and fortunate and appreciative. I was able to take a 11 or 12 day detox, and it was awesome. People said, aren't you gonna miss it? Isn't it gonna be hard to not be on it? And I was thinking, I'm like, no, it's gonna be very, very easy. I can't wait. And it was awesome. The first day or so, I woke up and I went to reach for my phone, because that's what I do every morning. Well, as soon as I wake up, it's almost, it is unhealthy. I just immediately think of my phone. I wake up, I roll over, I grab it, and I'm surfing. And if you think on a psychological level what that really is, back in the day, you wake up, maybe you look at the sun, you'd open the shades, you talk to your family or something. I live alone. I wake up and I'm immediately on my phone, and then I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And what are these really? Of course, like, I always want to be positive. These social medias have changed my life. I'm able to work on it. I'm forever grateful. My grandparents worked in factories. I'm able to do this, which is relatively easy. I'm not saying that. I'm very, very appreciative. But psychologically, it's a mess. It's like waking up, I'm not drinking water. Sometimes I do, I try to be healthy, but I'm not doing what I should do in the morning, thinking of maybe family or friends. I'm immediately in a worldwide web, and it is a web in the sense of I'm tangled, because I'm on Twitter and I'm seeing 100 opinions. So it's like 50 opinions I kind of agree with, 50 opinions I don't. Something that makes me mad, something that makes me stressed. If you really think on a mental level, is that really how we want to wake up in the morning? This last week or so, I woke up and after the first day, I didn't think twice about my phone. I, thought about the sun. I thought about breakfast and, what I was going to do for the day, play sports or, exercise, or honestly too much eating. I don't want to show my stomach. I'm probably fine, but I ate way too much. Sheesh. But that's how I feel about the phone. So hopefully now, after this 11 or 12 day detox from the phone, I won't wake up and be so addicted. I can't say that I will, but I hope that, because psychologically for all of us, and first off, thank you for supporting me and watching my videos. And what I really try to do is be the news that's not so negative and stressful and judgmental. And I try to be the voice, or at least someone on social media that doesn't just tangle people up in a web of 50 million things and angry, fearful, hateful, negative, nasty. I try to, decompress that and unstress not only for myself, but others, and make it so, somebody on here is at least trying to calm the situation and be fair. On that note, I want to say, before I left, I put out a post and I said, what's your favorite book? I got thousands of answers, and I really listened to you guys. One of the books that you guys said the most was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, which is a very, an older book, I believe, from the 1920s or 30s. And what was very interesting to me when I was reading it was how common sense it was, how similar it was to me. I'd never read the book, but a lot of these key elements that he points out to be successful and happy and a person that people like and don't hate, I already do naturally, or maybe I learned, over time. And I want to read a few quotes from this book that I really think are true. I always have, and it makes me feel better that, Dale Carnegie in the 1900s knew this stuff, but today, on the media and in the political realm, if you do what this book basically says to do, they consider you crazy, an extremist, an awful person, because you won't act like them. But truth is, I think this is really how you're supposed to act. This one, I highlighted a few. It says, "Don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof," said Confucius, "when your own doorstep is unclean." And that's Confucius. God knows how many years that goes back, hundreds or thousands. Don't complain about the snow on your neighbor's roof when your own doorstep is unclean. This is the psychology of a lot of successful people today, including, Jordan Peterson. He always says, clean your bed, clean your room. Very similar, and that's why things like that are so successful. Life coaches and I guess spiritual guides, is because people are looking for the basic wisdom and common sense of how humans are happy and healthy and, attractive to others, not physically, but, just spiritually, mentally, energetically. It's what we all want. And when you give out stuff that other people want, it makes you happier as well. When I make a mistake or I do something wrong, it eats me alive more than it hurts, the people I do it to. So that's among hundreds of reasons why to just try to be happy, be complete yourself, and also take care of yourself. That's the message that I always say. I get misconstrued, and honestly, taking a break from politics, I didn't miss it at all. I can't lie. And I don't really like politics. I say that all the time. I just saw all the negativity and the bad energy in politics and the news, how many people it influences, and I thought, well, what if I weighed in on it, wasn't so negative, wasn't so judgmental, wasn't so dishonest, what type of effect it's had? And overall, I think it's had a great effect, and thank you guys for supporting me. I'm going to read a few more quotes from this book, and then we'll wrap it up in a few. "Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. A great man shows his greatness," said Carlyle, "by the way he treats little men." I want to read the first part again, because this really spoke to me. This is something that I've always felt, but I feel like an outcast, even in the political arena, because I feel like very few people do this. "Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain, and most fools do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving." And when I weigh in on people, I try not to criticize too much at all, and I always try to be thoughtful. One, maybe that's naturally how I feel, but also, I always thought of the golden rule, and I was brought up to treat other people the way that you want to be treated. And especially in the political realm, but in the world, you have a majority of people running around. I won't say a majority, maybe the loud minority, that don't treat others how they want to be treated. And especially in politics, everyone's so mean and nasty and negative. Of course, there's people I disagree with, but I try to really think before I talk. And I obviously make mistakes because I talk way too much. I do like hour live streams, But treat others the way you want to be treated. And if everyone did that, the world would be a better place way quicker than it is now. And just want to read the last thing, and then I'll show you guys my view too. I got a very nice view. I took a nice break, and it was the first vacation I've taken in a long time. I took like a business vacation the other year in Hawaii, but this was the first like phone off, don't do any work. And I scheduled posts on Facebook, if you guys seen. I wanted to keep the momentum, but it was incredible, and I'm excited to get back to work, hopefully with a different view and make it better for me, because I was getting a little stressed out. Instead of condemning people, let's try to understand them. Let's try to figure out why they do what they do. That's a lot more profitable and intriguing than criticism, and it breeds sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. To know all is to forgive all. As Dr. Johnson said, God himself, sir, does not propose to judge man until the end of his days. Why should you and I? That's why I always say I'm not God. I'm not a judge. I always say that, if you guys notice, because I'm not a judge. I'm not a cop. I'm not God. It's not really my place to critique. I mean, obviously I weigh in on stuff, but to really judge people, that's not my role. That's why I always say that. I'm gonna read that again. Instead of condemning people, let's try to understand them. Let's try to figure out why they do what they do. That's a lot more profitable and intriguing than criticism, and it breeds sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. To know all is to forgive all. And when I do that in the political realm and in the news realm, they write crazy articles about me and try to put me akin to supremacists and extremists, when really what I'm doing is ancient wisdom that goes back to Confucius, to all the legends in Greek philosophy, to Dale Carnegie, to others. The one thing I always bring up, I mention, because it moved me a year or two ago, was the documentary where there was the black jazz musician Daryl Davis, who got a lot of KKK members, including Grand Wizards, to quit the KKK because they realized through sympathy and kindness and understanding that Daryl Davis had for them, that's what made them realize that they didn't really dislike people of that ethnicity. It's not hate, it's not condemning. And I understand that that's not popular, because they look at me and they say, you have influence. Why don't you condemn? Why don't you condemn? Why don't you condemn? Why don't you condemn? Why don't you do this? And it's like, well, it doesn't really work. Of course, I could sit on my throne and say, I disagree, but it's who cares? Like, who cares that I disagree? I don't think anyone really, my opinion doesn't really hold weight. And a lot of people say, well, normally that's all you do is give your opinion. But what I say is, if I say the truth matters. It's not that I said it. It doesn't matter if Trump says it or Obama says it or the truth is the truth. So what makes me valuable is not my opinions. My opinions don't matter. If I weigh, normally, who do you think is going to win the next election? It doesn't matter. I could joke about it. I put on my little sun hat and have fun. But my opinions don't matter. The fact that what some would interpret as wisdom and truth, that's what matters. And anything else is just fluff. And it's opinions don't matter. Critiques and criticisms don't matter. And a lot of people think that I can't take criticism, but criticism doesn't matter. And a lot of the people that critique are not doing anything, and it's not a rude thing, but it's like, I've always felt this way. And it's really, thank you guys for putting this book out, because it was nice to see someone as wise and I'm guessing successful as Dale Carnegie, who's saying what makes me feel like an outcast in the political realm, because I'm using ancient wisdom of how do you de-radicalize people? Do you scream at them, call them names, and hate them, whether it be right-wing extremists or left-wing extremists or black or white or whatever? No, that's you got to understand them, because no matter what extreme people are on, usually they're hurt, they're lost, and that's the root level. It's not this, that, or the other. It's they're hurt, they're lost, they're confused, they're broken, and I'm trying to be a healer, not a hater. And it's nice to take a break and realize that that's who I really am. On a personal level, I got to have human interactions. I probably talked. That's why I lost my voice. I talked. I sang karaoke. I did a lot of stuff. I danced. I dance all the time though. You know me, but not on camera. Maybe one time I'll make a dance video. But it was a beautiful break, and hopefully I'm stronger and wiser and calmer than ever, because that's what I strive to be. And thank you guys who support me. I hope the numbers are still there. I mean, that's not the main concern, but you know, it's tough to take a break and lose momentum. I'm sure I'll be fine, but I needed to do it mentally, spiritually, and it was a great decision. And I hope I don't use my phone 10 to 12 hours a day anymore. That's frightening. I want to say too, I have a TV. I'm going to show you my. We'll look real quick, and then I'll go out. See, I got the nice little view there, but I'll show you better in a second. I turned on the TV. I mean, I watched a little ESPN, but I went to look at Fox News and MSNBC for just like 10, 15 seconds. You know, just like little snippets, just to see what the world's going. And it's so funny that nothing changes. And if you guys have noticed, I've talked about that a little bit. I'm not trying to quit or throw everything I've worked for away or whatever, or not appreciate you guys and not be there for you. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I'm like, how do I get out of this cycle? Because sometimes even when I'm weighing in on stuff, I feel like I'm a hamster on a wheel. And I feel like I'm talking about what they want me to talk about, and we're talking about the same thing for 2 years, and there's no wisdom there, there's no good energy there, there's no solutions there. Left wing, right wing, I do feel like it's a trap, and turning on MSNBC and Fox News, it really showed me what politics is. I turned on MSNBC, and it was like, Russia, Trump, Russia, Mueller investigation. I was like, oh my goodness. They're still talking about the Mueller investigation, and I turned it on again. Russia, Trump stakes, he failed and went bankrupt. I'm like, guys, you've said this 10,000 times. Like, we get it. But successful people, not just Trump, it's okay to make mistakes. I mean, listen to any life coach or any, you know, like a Gary Vee or Tony Robbins. They tell you how necessary it is to fail and how many times they've failed. So when someone points out the failures in Trump, or not even him, but others, where they're like, well, he's, you know, made billions of dollars and has so much successes, but he failed on these. It's like, you're not really fooling anyone. And this is like, politics aside, this is just basic common sense, basic business, basic motivation, as they would call themselves, motivational speakers. And then I turned it on again, and it's Chris Hayes, I think that's his name, with the glasses, and he's like, Trump stakes, blah, blah, blah. And then I turned on to Fox News for 10 minutes, and it's a climate change activist arguing with Charlie Kirk. And the climate change activist is like, the climate is, you know, hurting people of ethnicities. And then Charlie Kirk's like, economy, 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 economy. He said economy like 5 times. And then I turned it on again, Fox News, for a second time, and they're ramping up tensions with Iran. And you could tell, it's like, look at this ship, let's start a war with Iran. So it's like, Fox News, you know, they're going to talk about the economy and unemployment, which is, I do think economy is important. I do want to say too, I visited some Caribbean islands, and the beaches are gorgeous, but the economy is all based on tourism, and wow, the not nice areas of the island are more broken down and in ruins than anything I've ever seen. It's even worse than, you know, the worst of American cities. So it not only made me appreciative, but economy actually is really important. I know a lot of people don't understand that in America because we have such a good one, and I do get that it's not a very popular thing to talk about, especially among the youth. They're like, oh, the rich are so bad. But if you lived on an island where 80% of the economy is only based on tourism, and you know the rest of the island is literally in shambles, you'd appreciate it more. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, from Fox to MSNBC, it's like they just got you on a loop. And, you know, I'm going to try to get back to the game, but get off that loop. And, you know, I think I've done a good job. But in general, I appreciate you guys for supporting. Thank you for understanding that I'm taking a break. And I want to say, too, because I know some people will be like, oh, Anomaly, you're taking all the donation money and going on vacation. First of all, on the donation thing, I explain, you know, what my thing is. I'm very transparent, where it's like I pay bills, I have rent, I focus most of my energy on this stuff. So just vibe with me, and if you want it, that's fine. But also, just to be quite honest, I make enough in ad revenue on Facebook, YouTube, and other things 10 times over to pay for my vacation. So it's not, I didn't use donations per se, but in general, I don't think most people care. I'm just saying, I know people are, oh, Anomaly, you're running away with the money. It's like, guys, I gotta take a break. It's okay. And I want to show you real quick my view. It's a nice little painting. So I did it in style, and I looked, let's see, bang, So I had a little balcony. I went on a cruise. Let's see, we'll sit out here for a second. And I read some books. I had 1984, a few others I was reading, but it was very, very beautiful. And most importantly for me was just taking a break from the phone. So thank you guys for understanding. Hopefully you like this video, and yeah, more to come.